Guys, Cristiano Ronaldo might actually be returning to Europe for one last dance this summer. Obviously, he's allowed to move whenever he wants, but due to some rules and loopholes, he can actually move back to Europe this summer for free. How can that happen? What is this new rule? Why would Cristiano Ronaldo even want to move back to Europe? What club would he join if he indeed plans to move? We will be answering all these questions and more in this video today. We'll talk about the new FIFA rule that allows Cristiano Ronaldo to return to Europe this summer. But first, let's answer the question of why. Why would Cristiano want to return to Europe this summer? Well, first of all, the man surely still feels like he has what it takes to be competing at the highest levels. He might be 40, but we're so sure that he feels 30. Also, it's pretty much confirmed now that he'll be going to the World Cup next year, and that might be a good motivation for him to return to Europe so that he can be prepared for what is almost guaranteed to be his final World Cup outing. But even before the FIFA World Cup next year, there's another World Cup that may motivate CR7 to make that move this summer: the new FIFA Club World Cup. As you know, FIFA has rebranded the Club World Cup. It's bigger, better, and more prestigious. It involves 32 teams and will now be held once every 4 years, just like the World Cup itself. So the first edition, which will be held this summer, might be Ronaldo's only chance of ever playing in the new FIFA Club World Cup format. And you know that the man likes to make history. Of course, he'd want to become one of the first players to win the trophy, or even maybe the first player to win the Golden Boot or something like that. And his arch rival Lionel Messi will be at the tournament with Inter Miami, having been given the host slot by FIFA. So that right there is extra motivation for Cristiano Ronaldo to not want to miss out. The Saudi Pro League has a representative in the competition, but it was Al Hilal, not Ronaldo's Al Nassr, who qualified. So the only way Ronaldo can partake in that competition is for him to move to one of the participating clubs. Well, now you know the why. Let's now talk about the how. But before we get into that, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right now so that you never miss out on any of our amazing content. Done? Okay, so how can Cristiano Ronaldo seamlessly return to Europe this summer? Well, you see, FIFA has introduced a special transfer window strictly for clubs that will be participating in the Club World Cup. From the 1st of June, the day after the Champions League final, to the 10th of June, 4 days before the kickoff of the Club World Cup, these clubs will be allowed to sign anybody. But that's not even all. You see, the Club World Cup will run from the 4th of June till the 13th of July. But midway into the tournament, there will be another transfer window between the 27th of June and the 3rd of July, which will again allow only the clubs involved in the competition to further strengthen their squads by signing a maximum of 2 players. And you know what makes all of this even more interesting? Cristiano Ronaldo's current contract with Al Nassr expires this summer, so he can very easily walk and join any team for free if he wants. And well, if clubs don't have to pay any transfer fee for him, Cristiano Ronaldo becomes an even more tempting offer. Yes, he's 40 years old, but he is still CR7. And well, even if he goes on to extend his contract with Al Nassr, this special transfer window can allow Ronaldo to still move to another club for the Club World Cup and return to Al Nassr when the new Saudi Pro League season begins. He can take advantage of the early transfer window to go out on a 1-month loan to any of the participating clubs and get back to Saudi after the competition is over. It'll be like when Thierry Henry was playing for the New York Red Bulls and joined Arsenal on a 2-month loan deal during the MLS off-season. In a situation like this, everybody wins. Al Nassr still have their player, Ronaldo gets to play in the new Club World Cup, and whichever club he joins wouldn't have to bother about the burden of paying Ronaldo's hefty wages for a whole season. Win, win, and win. Okay, now we've covered the why and how. What about the where? So let's say Cristiano has made his decision to return to Europe this summer for the Club World Cup. Which club can he realistically join? You see, there are 12 European clubs in the competition, and we can assure you that there are a good number of them who will be willing to take Cristiano Ronaldo on in a heartbeat. Sadly, Sporting CP and Manchester United aren't in the competition. They would have been pretty easy picks for the Portuguese legend, since both clubs feel like home to him. But you know another club that certainly feels like home? Real Madrid. Of course, Real Real Madrid are in the competition, and although they already have a strong team, they could be willing to find space for Cristiano if it's only on a short-term basis. Even with the big names they have in the squad, Madrid have struggled this season, and a player like Ronaldo, with his experience, eye for goal, and mentality could really change things for Los Blancos. He may not start every minute of every game, but he definitely has a lot to offer both on the pitch and in the dressing room. But if Real proves real difficult, he could also go to Juventus. From the way their seasons have panned out, one would say that Juve needs Ronaldo more than Madrid does. The old lady is 100% out of the Serie A title race and currently even sits outside the Champions League places. Speaking of the Champions League, they couldn't even make it to the round of 16 this season, and they got knocked out of the Coppa Italia by relegation-threatened Empoli. It's been a bad season for them, so bad that they've had to sack their newly appointed coach Thiago Motta. As it stands, the FIFA Club World Cup is Juventus' only chance of finishing this season with some silverware, so they might be more willing to open their doors for a former player who scored a truckload of goals for them. And I mean, if Juventus could take Kolo Muani on loan midway into the season, we're pretty confident they'd take Cristiano Ronaldo in a heartbeat if he offers himself for free. We'll rule out Porto and Benfica because it just wouldn't make sense. Neither of them is a real favourite to win the trophy, so we don't think Ronaldo will be willing to risk his relationship with the sporting fans for such a long shot. But when it comes to Manchester City, it's a very different ballgame. Yes, he's a Man United legend, but City is one team that you'll always put up there as favourites going into any competition, so he might be willing to take that risk. After all, we heard that he was on the verge of joining the Noisy Neighbours in 2021 before Sir Alex Ferguson made that call. With the season City have had, failing to make it to the round of 16 of the Champions League and struggling to finish in the top 5 of the Premier League, Pep Guardiola might be more welcoming of Ronaldo than in previous seasons. Yes, they have Haaland, but for just 1 month, Pep can definitely make it work with 2 of them up front. We'll admit that this one is not very likely, but it's still one to keep an eye on regardless. But you know which one we'll say is quite likely? Chelsea. They're a super young team without much experience and bite up front. They started the season brilliantly, but they've since lost their fear factor and injuries haven't helped at all. If they go into the Club World Cup with a freshly recovering Nicholas Jackson as their only centre-forward option, they would almost certainly find the competition extremely difficult. A player like Ronaldo joining the Blues just for the sake of the tournament will dramatically elevate them and maybe even turn them into favourites. Chelsea are one team who have made all sorts of strange transfer moves in recent years, so you just know you can't put this one past them. But one thing we can surely do is count Atletico Madrid out, and not just because Ronaldo won't choose them because of his affiliation with their neighbours, but because of how much the fans hate him. When rumours surfaced that Ronaldo could join Atletico in 2022, the fans heavily protested, so we're pretty sure that they won't even want to hear it now that they have a much better team, not even for a month. Bayern Munich, Inter Milan and PSG are all in a good place right now. They look like they're going to win the respective league titles and they're doing pretty well in the Champions League, so they might feel like they don't need Ronaldo for the Club World Cup. But don't completely write them off. PSG in particular don't have a proper 9 and it's affected them in some games this season. Also, it's obvious that Enrique doesn't trust Goncalo Ramos, so he might just be open to upgrading his Portuguese goalscorer. Who knows? Anyway, do you think that Cristiano is really considering returning to Europe this summer? And if he does, where do you think he'll be headed? Real Madrid? Juventus? Man City? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notifications so that you never miss out on amazing content like this. We'll catch you in the next